I guess I'm gonna make a video. Let y'all see my boy Bailey. He's just been with us for 4 weeks now, 5 weeks, I guess, maybe 6. I don't know. Time flies, especially during this pandemic. But anyway, I've been doing DDP yoga for 7 years and 7 months. And when I first started DDP yoga, I recently, within the past 6 months to a year, had lost my mom, and she went through a lot of health related struggles that eventually led to her passing on. And she spent the last couple years of her life in a nursing home because of strokes and just having to have 24-hour care. And I had a lot of symptoms like high cholesterol and everything in common with her, so I knew that I needed to do something. And I'm also a recovering alcoholic, and so I ran across DDP's YouTube page. I forget how it was. I think maybe even I had a friend named Rob that was doing DDP yoga. That might have been the first I saw of it because he was posting his updates. But what really made me pay attention was when they started posting on the YouTube channel the updates about Jake, and it was what they were going through while they were making the Jake the Snake, resurrection of Jake the Snake. And also when DDP started reaching out to Scott Hall. But anyway, man, that was it takes a real friend to reach out and help people that are in that state. I know from experience. I know how offensive alcoholics can be to people that we love. We drive wedges. It's one of the things that we do. But just to see DDP put faith in Jake and Scott, and then to ended up getting to go to 2 of the screenings for Jake's movie, and the second of those, I sat the row in front of Jake and listened to how it affected him emotionally. And I was sitting there emotional the whole time myself, just knowing what I'd gone through and how hard it is, really. Like, success stories with alcoholism and addiction are not the majority of the stories. The vast majority of the stories do not end well. And I'm thankful every day to be where I'm at. Anyhow, as of January, I've been without a drink for like 17 years. So I guess I was about 10 years into not drinking whenever I ran across DDP and DDP yoga. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to support this cat, and I'm going to buy this program. And that was it. That was how I ended up with the DVDs at my house. I didn't intend at all to work out, but I had separately, like I said, had my mom died and was already thinking about I needed to do something. Well, I got the program, I got the books, looked through it, and I was like, I can make all these small changes. I'm a small change. Like, if I go all the way to an extreme of like cold turkey, quit everything, not eat sugar, not eat fats, work out every day, blah, 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 strict routine, I don't stick to it. That's my history, and I could probably, if I had discipline like Dallas, stick to something like that, but I don't. So I have to take little steps. And I took all these little steps to correct my eating. and a workout schedule. I got to where I would, if I didn't work out, I felt like I had not done something that day, which is, the facts that I hadn't, but I think you understand what I'm saying. It was just a part of my daily routine. And I ended up becoming a level 1 and level 2 certified instructor, DDP yoga certified instructor, and taught classes for years at Our House Fitness, Our House Studios. Excuse me. And then I had some hernias, and that was the beginning of the derailing. Of course, I had to take time off from working out. I only took 2 weeks off from teaching DDP yoga classes. So this was like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago. Anyway, 2 to 3 years ago. I only took 2 weeks off from teaching classes, and I went back to teaching classes, just doing modifications. That's the beauty of DDP yoga. It works because you can work at whatever level you're at and do the same workout as somebody very much advanced from you or less advanced than you. And anyhow, I ended up, that was my first hernia surgery, and then I developed another hernia. And I really made the commitment that I was going to take the whole 6 weeks to not do anything. And I did, and I healed up really well. And I went back to teaching DDP yoga, DDPY, sorry Dallas. And I taught for a good little while, but I felt like I was having a hernia open back up again. I think it was maybe a year later after that. And I was having less and less people come to class, and I wasn't bored with it. I love teaching. I love helping people. I love especially working with people that are new to working out, or new to yoga, or new to doing group classes. I mean, I just love people coming in from for rehab reasons. I love working with people like that. And so it didn't really matter if there was one person at my class. It was great because we always had a good time and got something out of it, So I never felt like any of my classes were a waste of time. But it was a long drive, and it was getting to where I just wasn't making enough money to make it worthwhile. And on top of that, I thought I was developing another hernia, so I quit teaching DDP yoga. And when I did that, while teaching, I would always keep up with the new workouts, new positions, and all that. And I really started slacking off on not just learning new things, but even just working out at all. And then I got to where I was doing the elliptical. I would be like, oh, well, if I do the elliptical for 30 minutes, I burn as many calories as I do in an hour of DDP yoga. So, some of that was time management, but it became to where I was just like, oh, I'm just not going to take an hour to work out. I'm just going to do 30 minutes. And I didn't really do a lot of homework on how keeping your heart rate in the red zone actually makes your body release cortisol and signals your body to store fat. So anyhow, I just started gaining a little bit of weight. I gained 10 pounds basically. Well, I lost down to 165 initially, and then over the next 3 or 4 years, I gained 10 pounds to 175, and I was okay with that. I was at 175 when I filmed the catcher video and dime a dozen videos. So I was at 175, and I didn't feel great about myself, but I felt healthy. I felt strong. And then I slowly started gaining a little bit over the next couple years. The last couple of years, 10 more pounds to 185. And I stayed at around 180, between 180 and 185 for probably about a year, just fluctuating there, because I really wasn't like strict about my eating. I wasn't off the rails, but wasn't strict about eating. And then I would let myself get really far off the rails for like the holidays, and just like I did these holidays and back. Anyhow, leading up to where I'm at now, the pandemic started. I actually taught DDP yoga. I went back to teaching DDP yoga online and did that for a couple months when the pandemic started, just to reach out, be doing something, to be of service, for a few reasons. But that got to where there was nobody attending those, and I really didn't put any work into getting people to attend them. I initially just did it because some people had kind of suggested that might be cool, and then of course they were the first ones to bail on the fucking class. But anyhow, over the summer I do lawns as one of my main occupations, musician. And on the side, like one day a week, I mow yards to make extra money. And then before the pandemic, I worked a couple of nights washing dishes at a kick-ass place called Tremont Tavern. You should visit if you're ever in Chattanooga. Anyhow, I do yards, and I started having these passing out episodes, or almost passing out, feeling, but they were different from any kind of other kind of blacking out thing that I had before. They were, it wasn't just like I would see everything kind of go into black or whatever. It's like my whole body would just kind of start shutting down. Like I'd feel it all over. It's just real weird. And anyway, it happened one time, and I thought it was because I overheated, and it probably was. I think I gave myself heat stroke. And then it happened the second time. And then the third time it happened, excuse me, I ended up going to the ER because I was out mowing grass, thankfully at home that day, and my heart just stopped. Everything in my body just stopped, and my knees, and this all happened in a matter of a couple seconds. But it was the scariest thing I've ever been through in my life. And I'd been having some horrible episodes with anxiety, and it threw me straight into a panic attack. So I went from having a heart episode straight into a panic attack. And I had a heart rate monitor on that day because I was using the mowing as my exercise. And you should see it. It got so crazy that the lines are like, oh, look, it doesn't even look like a regular workout line. It looks like somebody scribbled their signature. It's messed up. But anyway, my heart rate hit 200, and then it was like 175, 165, 135, 136, 135, 136, 135. It wouldn't calm down. So I eventually came in the house. I was like, I'm going to get in the shower, cool myself off. I just couldn't get my heart rate down enough. So I ended up calling my wife and ended up in the ER. And that's where they discovered I was having PVCs and PACs. But I ended up with a Holter monitor, and I was having, to begin with, 20,000 PVCs a day in a 24-hour period. And then the first medicine they tried me on, made it go up to 40-something thousand a day. So they cut that medicine in half and added another medicine, and it seemed to do the trick. But all that just scared the shit out of me, you know. And honestly, I don't know what brought it on. I don't know if it was the heat exhaustion. I don't know if I was really sick a couple times in the past couple years, including back in February of this year, and it very well could have been COVID, because I had a fever. I had all kinds of symptoms that I rarely get sick like that. Even if I'm sick, I'm usually functional, you know. And it took me down. So maybe maybe I got COVID and it messed with my heart. I don't know. Anyway, I'm on this fucking medicine now, and it makes me gain weight. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not going to start this video over because I'm coughing, but I would if it wasn't so long already. But, so I've kind of been defeated. I've had the heart problem, didn't know what to do, and was afraid to push myself working out, so I really fell off, and then tried to do like a reboot late last year, and whenever I first started gaining weight because of the medicine, and now I've gained like 25 pounds 25 pounds from the medicine. And it's part of it is it makes me hungry. I'm just hungry all the time. I don't eat awful stuff, but I don't eat great. That's changing. It's already changed since I guess Christmas. We did pretty good over New Year's Eve and didn't go too overboard. My problem is sweets. I love sweets, so I just gotta be smarter about that shit, you know. And go back to not eating. When I first started DDP yoga, I didn't eat at anything out of a fast food restaurant for a couple years, and I don't go very often, but it ain't been no couple years. It's probably been a couple months. But anyway, this medicine sucks. But even if it does, I mean, you know, I just kind of realized that I'm just gonna have to work harder, you know, and it lowers my alarm to take my said medicines. It lowers my heart rate, so it makes it harder for me to get my heart rate up. So I don't know if it's harder for me to get in fat burning zone, but anyway, I guess it's just one foot in front of the other, and you basically got my whole DDP life story anyway, and that's where I'm at now. Basically started this Positively Unstoppable challenge, and don't expect it all to win. I'm going to participate like I want to, because shit, man, $5,000 would change my damn life. You know, I've got many friends. I'm a musician. I've been in the entertainment industry in one way or another for years, so I'm not, you know, not looking to be famous or go viral or any shit like that. Bailey's dreaming. He got hit by a car the day before Thanksgiving, and ended up, after a week in a cast, they realized I couldn't save his right front leg. So he's a tripod doggy. And I took him in 2 days after he had the amputation and nursed him back to health. And honestly, he's nursed me back to health. In a lot of ways, mainly, he's made me slow down and really think about serving people again, being of service to not just people, just to my community, to just being of service, even though it's hard to during the pandemic. But shit, man, I've gained a lot of weight, and I'm not even sure if I can lose it. You know, I know that I'm not going to gain anymore. And I know I'm going to fight to lose every pound that I lose. But it's really about the way that I feel. You know, I'm not the scale means everything kind of guy. I want to feel good, and I want to feel proud of myself. I want to, I mean, the DDP Yoga Level 1 certification was the first thing significant that I ever completed. I dropped out of high school. I got my GED, but the first thing that I ever put my mind to and completed was the DDP Level 1. And then a year later, I was certified ISSA personal trainer, and I've taken all kinds of courses through that. And then I'm also, since becoming DDPY, I keep trying to say it right, level 2 instructor. Anyhow, I don't want to represent like this. You know, I want to represent on fire, you know. And so anyway, it's going to be a long road, 6 months. I'm long-winded as hell, so you probably ain't going to watch my videos, but I'll try to figure out some way to make some stuff interesting, and y'all follow along and kind of kick me in the ass and give me reminders and send me Facebook hugs and shit like that, because I am finding it hard to be optimistic, but I'm determined as a motherfucker. I'll tell you that. And I've got a lot of follow through in me, and we'll just see what happens. I'm okay with where I'm at today. So, love y'all. This is a family, and it's like y'all are my brothers and sisters, and so I wish the best for all of you in this new year. Peace. We'll talk at you later.